There's something no one warns you about when it comes to Leo. Not in astrology books, not in your late-night conversations with friends, not even in the stories of heartbreak you've heard from those who once loved them deeply. Because most people think they know what makes someone dangerous. They look for rage, for chaos, for the loudest voice in the room. But true danger, real soul-shaking danger, is quiet. It smiles while it watches. It remembers in silence. And then it disappears, taking the sun with it. People often name Scorpio or Capricorn when they talk about the most dangerous zodiac sign, but they forget the one that rules the heart, the one ruled by the sun itself, Leo. Not because they strike without warning, but because they love without limit. Because they give you everything, their fire, their trust, their light. And when that light is taken for granted, Leo doesn't fight back. They simply walk away. And the emptiness they leave behind, that's where the real danger begins. So today we're not talking about Leo's charm or confidence. We're going deeper into the parts of Leo that most people will never see until it's too late. These are the 9 hidden signs that make Leo the most dangerous zodiac sign in the entire wheel. Not because of destruction, but because of the quiet, powerful way they can change you forever. And if you stay with me until the end, you'll see why loving a Leo is both a blessing and a test you may never be ready for. Sign 1. The fire that heals or burns. When Leo walks into a room, the temperature changes. Not because they say anything, not because they demand attention, but because their presence is heat, alive, undeniable, a fire that you can feel even before they speak. Leo's fire is not just symbolic, it's a way of being. They warm others with encouragement. They lift people with laughter. They light up the darkest rooms with a single smile. Their fire heals. It gives life. But what most people don't realize is that the same flame that heals can also burn. Because when Leo loves, they don't hold back. They don't test the waters. They leap with their full heart, their full loyalty, their full light. And when that love is betrayed, when someone plays with the very fire that kept them warm, Leo doesn't get revenge. They become something far more dangerous, untouchable. It's not rage, it's not drama. It's the sudden shift in the air when Leo decides they're done, and that's what scorches the earth beneath you. The way they disappear without a word, leaving behind the charred remains of what once felt like a kingdom built just for you. A kingdom you never knew how to honor, until it burned to the ground. Leo doesn't hurt people out of cruelty. They hurt because their love was sacred and someone mistook it for something ordinary. They hurt because they gave all their light and were left in the shadows. Life lesson. If you're ever lucky enough to be loved by a Leo, don't play with their fire. It may be the very flame that brings you back to life, or the one that shows you exactly how cold the world feels without it. Sign 2. Silence that cuts deeper than words. Most people are afraid of yelling. They're afraid of raised voices, of slammed doors, of dramatic exits. But Leo, they don't need any of that. Their most dangerous weapon isn't rage, it's silence. Because Leo doesn't argue to prove their point. They don't beg to be understood. They don't repeat themselves just to feel heard. When they're hurt, when they've been crossed too many times, Leo doesn't explode. They withdraw. Completely. Quietly. And it's in that silence that people begin to crumble. The same Leo who used to light up your phone with messages, who used to make you feel like the only person in the world, now vanishes into a stillness you can't reach. And that stillness, it's colder than any goodbye. Because Leo's silence isn't passive. It's a statement, a boundary, a final line drawn not with words but with the absence of them. And the scariest part, you don't even realize how loud their presence was until it's gone. You look around and realize how dark the room feels without them. How quiet your world became when their voice stopped echoing through it. Leo doesn't slam the door. They leave it open, but they never come back. Life lesson. If a Leo goes silent on you, listen carefully. Because their silence speaks volumes, and by the time you hear it, it might already be too late. Sign 3. The inner kingdom where no one enters. Leo may be the sign of royalty, but their throne isn't built in public. It's carved in silence. In a private world no one sees, a hidden kingdom they retreat to when the outside world has asked too much of them again. To everyone else, Leo seems unshakable. They smile, they shine, they show up with fire in their chest, even when they're burning inside. But what people don't realize is that strength has a cost. When Leo feels betrayed, unseen, or exhausted beyond words, they don't lash out. They don't try to be understood. They vanish into that inner kingdom, a sacred space where they can finally exist without expectations. Here, Leo takes off their armor. Here, the lion rests. Here, they don't have to lead, inspire, or carry the weight of everyone else's storms. They just breathe. But here's what makes it dangerous. Once Leo retreats into this inner world, they don't always remember how to come back. You'll still see them. They'll still be kind. They'll still smile. But something will feel missing. Their eyes won't search for yours. Their laughter won't sound like it used to. Their soul will be somewhere else. And no matter how close you stand, you'll feel like you're outside a door you can't open. Life lesson. If you love a Leo, don't wait for them to disappear into their inner world. Notice the cracks in their light before they dim it themselves. Because once they go quiet inside, your voice may no longer reach them. Sign 4. The truth seer who never needs proofs. Leo doesn't need receipts. They don't need screenshots, explanations, or long-winded confessions. Because when you lie to a Leo, they already know. There's a kind of intuition that doesn't shout. It doesn't analyze. It just sees. Leo feels energy before words are even spoken. They can sense the crack in your voice, the shift in your eyes, the pause you didn't mean to take. It's not paranoia, it's pattern. And Leo has memorized people better than they even realize. When someone betrays a Leo, it rarely comes as a surprise. What hurts isn't the act. It's the confirmation of something they already suspected. Because Leo always knows. But here's what makes it dangerous. They don't confront you right away. They watch. They wait. They give you room to tell the truth. And when you don't, that's when the distance begins. They won't start a war. They won't expose you. They'll just leave. And long after you've realized what you did, Leo has already moved on, taken their fire with them, and left you staring at your own shadow. Life lesson. Don't lie to a Leo thinking they can't see you. They see everything. They just choose when and if to respond. And when they don't, that silence is your warning shot. Sign 5. The smile that hides a storm. Everyone thinks Leo is fine, always, because they make it look easy. The strength, the confidence, the way they light up a room even when they're the one hurting most inside. But Leo's most dangerous illusion is their smile. It's radiant, reassuring, and it fools even the people closest to them. What they don't see is that behind that effortless glow, Leo may be drowning in waves no one knows they're fighting. Because Leo doesn't like to be pitied. They don't want to burden others, so they become masters of disguise. They keep showing up, keep being strong, keep making everyone feel okay, while their own soul is quietly cracking underneath the weight. And here's what makes it dangerous. By the time you realize they're not okay, it's often too late. They've already bled internally. They've already reached the moment of no return. And the smile you used to love, it now becomes a mask that hides everything you didn't care enough to ask about. Leo doesn't cry in public. They cry when no one's watching. And when they finally break, it's not a moment, it's an eruption of everything they held back for too long. Life lesson. If someone's light shines bright, don't assume they're never in the dark. If you love a Leo, don't just celebrate their joy. Pay attention to the silence behind their smile. That's where the real storm begins. Sign 6. The loyalty that turns to coldness. No one is more loyal than a Leo. When they love you, they don't hold back. They defend you in rooms you're not even in. They remember your smallest victories. They stand beside you even when the rest of the world turns away. But what most people don't realize is Leo's loyalty has a limit. Not one that's measured in time, but in truth. Because once Leo realizes their loyalty is being taken for granted, once they see you're only showing up when it's convenient for you, something shifts. They don't explode. They don't throw it in your face. They simply stop showing up. And this is where their quiet danger begins. You'll still see them. They'll still be polite. They'll still say, "I'm fine." But that fire, that deep, royal soul-level loyalty, it's gone. And when a Leo turns cold, it's not ice, it's distance, it's detachment. It's that feeling when someone used to make the room feel alive, and now it just feels quiet. They don't stop caring. They stop letting you carry the weight of their care. Life lesson. Loyalty isn't something Leo gives twice. So if you've earned it, protect it. Because once a Leo grows cold, you'll spend a lifetime trying to feel that warmth again. Sign 7. The power to leave without a sound. Some people slam the door when they leave. Others scream, plead, or make sure you know exactly why they're gone. But Leo doesn't need noise to make an exit. Their silence is the departure. They don't announce it, they don't warn you. They simply begin to fade. One conversation shorter, one reply colder, until one day they're gone. And you didn't even realize when it happened. That's what makes them dangerous. Because while others leave with explosions, Leo leaves with grace. And it's that grace, that quiet, powerful dignity, that makes you feel the loss long after they're gone. They don't leave to punish you. They leave to protect themselves. Because once Leo's heart grows too tired, once the weight of staying starts to crush their spirit, they choose to disappear without fanfare. And one day you'll look around and realize the world feels dimmer. Your joy feels smaller. And the voice that used to fill your days is now an echo you can't bring back. Life lesson. Leo doesn't leave to make a scene. They leave when they've already died 1,000 quiet deaths inside. And when they go, you'll feel it everywhere. In the silence, in the stillness, in the sun that just doesn't rise the same way anymore. Sign 8. The mirror that reflects all your truths. There's a reason why being close to a Leo feels so intense. It's not just their light. It's the way they see you. Not the version you show the world. Not the mask you wear in public. But the real you. The parts you hide even from yourself. Leo has a gift that few ever talk about. They're a mirror. A powerful, emotional mirror that reflects everything back to you. The beauty you forgot you had. The wounds you never healed. The truths you've been too afraid to face. And here's the dangerous part. They don't use this gift to harm. But if pushed, if betrayed, if wounded deeply enough, they will speak. And when Leo speaks that truth, it lands like a blade. Not because they're cruel, but because it's the one thing you hoped no one would ever say out loud. They don't scream it. They whisper it. And somehow, that quiet truth cuts deeper than any accusation. Because it's not meant to destroy. It's meant to reveal. Leo doesn't expose others to feel powerful. They do it because their soul refuses to carry lies, even when those lies are dressed as love. Life lesson. If you fear being seen, a Leo will terrify you. But if you crave truth, they'll become the most honest love you've ever known. Just be ready. Because when they reflect your soul back to you, you'll never be able to unsee it. Sign 9. The light that others try to dim. Some people shine without effort. They don't ask for attention. They don't chase applause. They simply walk into a room and the energy shifts. That's Leo. Their light is not a performance. It's their essence. But here's the danger. Not everyone can handle that kind of light. Some admire it, others envy it. And the ones who can't match it, they try to dim it, to dim. They'll call Leo too much, too loud, too emotional, too dramatic. But what they're really saying is, I don't know how to stand beside someone who refuses to shrink. And if Leo isn't careful, they'll start to believe those voices. They'll start dimming their fire to make others comfortable. They'll laugh a little softer, dream a little smaller, hide pieces of themselves that once made them proud, until one day they don't recognize their own reflection. But this is where Leo becomes dangerous again. Because when they remember who they are, when they reclaim their fire, their brilliance, their right to shine, nothing can stop them. Not fear, not loneliness, not the voices that once tried to silence them. They rise. And when they do, they don't just light up a room, they light up the world. Life lesson. You don't have to make yourself smaller so others can feel big. Your light was never meant to be hidden. And those who can't handle your glow were never meant to walk beside the sun. The final truth. So now you know. Leo isn't dangerous because they seek to hurt. They're dangerous because they love in a way the world isn't always ready for. They give without holding back. They stand tall even when they're breaking inside. They shine for everyone, even when no one shines for them. And when they're pushed too far, they don't fight. They don't scream, they disappear. That's the part that no one warns you about. Not the fire of Leo, but the silence they leave behind. The absence that echoes louder than any goodbye. If you are a Leo, remember this. You were never meant to be small. You were never meant to dim your light to make others feel safe. You were born to lead, to love fiercely, and to rise even after the world tried to burn you down. And if you love a Leo, love them now. Not after they've gone quiet. Not after their eyes stop searching for yours in the crowd. Love them when they're shining. Love them when they're tired. Love them before the silence. Because once a Leo gives you their heart, you're holding something divine. And if you break it, you may never find that kind of light again. If this message found your heart today, drop a comment below. Let your fellow Leos know they're not alone. Even a single word might be the spark someone out there is waiting for. And if you want more than just zodiac readings, if you want truth healing and the fire that reminds you who you really are, tap subscribe, turn on the bell, and join this pride. Because here at Leo Zodiac Power, we don't just read the stars. We remember who we were born to be. And Leo, you were born to burn brighter than fear ever could.